Fish Besties, welcome back to my channel. I hope your day is going splendidly. For our daily check-in, I am currently reading A Dance of Lies by Brittany Arena, and I am about 70 pages in, so not very far into the book so far. I'm liking it so far, but I need a little bit more time to fully get into the atmosphere of it and really fall in love with this book. But I do think I will love this book. I'm just kind of enjoying it right now. So that is my check-in for today. For today's video, I thought it'd be interesting to try one of these little review notepads that I've seen all around and compare it to my reading journal as a use for reviews. I think we all know that the reading journal is going to be my preferred method, but it's interesting to see like how these things work and how it might work for other people. So let's just get into today's video and compare the two of these. I'm going to start with the notepad just so my brain is fresh from it and doesn't have any complications from things that I was already thinking about while making my book review. So we're going to start with this one. This one is from the Limitless TBR, which is a small business that I bought from at the local Las Vegas Book Festival. I'm sure there's a lot of different ones like this, and if you want to see me try some, let me know down in the comments what one you would like me to try, because I know there are so many different ones and other ones might work better for me, other ones might work better for others. It'd be interesting to take a look at. Anyways, this one is sectioned off into 4 sections. We have the book title, the basic information about the book, which includes author, pages, etc., etc., this small little section for your thoughts about it, and then different rating little section. I'm going to be filling this out with my review for Winter's Wrath by Emma Casey Collette, which is book 2 in the Fidalian Chronicles. Both of these reviews are going to be spoiler free, so feel free to read them if you want to, but it's just my thoughts on the book, so you can see that also when I make my review on Instagram and whatnot. So let's just go fill this one out. Okay, so here are the two little ones. We are comparing the notepad versus my journal, and this is the book we will be reviewing for it. So let's start with this notepad. I am going to use my brush pen to put the title in here. This is a brush pen from Pilot, and I'm just going to write that in there. I don't know why my W's are always different. Like some of them are more curvy, some of them are more straight. Anyways, then I'm gonna go with my Sarasa Grand and write in all of this information at the top here. Author, page number, the genre, the series, the date started and finished, the format, and those are all that it really asks for up here. Usually I keep some other information in my journal like publisher and stuff, but I will say I don't usually put the series, which is interesting because I used to and I liked having that there to see if it was part of a series. Anyways, now we're going to go in with my thoughts on the book, which is basically just like a short review. I don't have a lot of space here, which kind of panics me because I'm trying to figure out what to say without also saying too much, because I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, but I also want to put my genuine thoughts here, and there's a lot of spoilers in my head, so I'm putting down more vagueness here, and I also feel like there's not enough space for me to fully write all my thoughts on this, but we're moving on. The rating system down here is pretty interesting because it's split up into different things. This book was a 5-star all around, so you're going to see me just fill these all in with 5 stars. But we have the overall, the plot, the ending, the characters, and I'm trying to remember what the other one, because my hand is covering it right now. I will say these stars were hard to fill in properly because my pen is such a darker color, so unless it's like a matching color or a lighter color that you're filling it in with, it's going to be hard to perfectly match it in. And since I use my stars in the same color, it's a little bit easier. Sorry, so the other one was writing style. And then there's a blank space, which I didn't really know what to put in there. So I thought for a second, and I decided to put buddy read since this is a buddy read for me. Also, by the way, characters is a 5+ because I just loved it so much. And here's that finished look. I don't dislike how it looks, and I think it's probably better for people who don't have a lot of time on their hands to make reviews. Now we're going to move on to my reading journal, which I make all my reviews in here all the time. So you're going to see a little bit of that process and what's different, what's not. Let's just get into that. Now we're moving on to the book journal portion of this. So we are going to set up this with my little clippies to hold down the pages for me. And we are going to go in with my journaling supplies to make it all pretty for me to write a longer, full-length review. So over here I'm putting this little paper that I found. It already has like a natural curve to it, but it's really cute. And then I wanted to put this washi because I wanted like a winter theme here since it is called Winter's Wrath. So you're seeing me try to lay down some cute blue wintry themed things. Let's go in then with some more blue. I have this like plaid pattern that I'd ripped up into tiny pieces, and you're gonna see me, I want to implement that element elsewhere, but right now I have this little map I want to use, but I wanted this underneath it, so I put a little bit of text under there and then the pretty map. Then we're going to go in with that blue on the other side of the paper because like I said, you want to bring the elements together. So there's more of the writing that's underneath the map and that's over here, and then more of that blue again. Then I have this lighter blue paper that I wanted to use here because I liked like the flowery look for it and I felt like it was really fitting. So I used that at the top and the bottom, but then I wanted some more lighter blues to bring into the left side because I use it there. So I found this washi that matched. And then we're putting more of that winter element, some winter stickers. This one just, I feel like represents a character I really, really loved in the series. And so I used that. And then when I put the frame around, I decided to cut the paper around her so that it isn't like intercepting the sticker. Then I'm adding some blue little flowers and leaf stickers because I felt like it pulled the blues in together more. And then we're just gonna go in to make the title. I go in with this lighter blue so that I can outline it later, but I try to kind of mimic the title on the book very often, so I'm kind of analyzing that as I'm looking at it and just trying to see how to make that. I will say I was hungry when I was making this, and my lines always get so sloppy when I'm hungry, so I'm a little disappointed by how I wrote it, but I did my best and I probably should have taken a break and gone to eat first. But anyways, that's how I made the title, and then I decided to block off the tops, bottoms, and sides of the review as a whole with that lighter color just to add a little bit, I don't know, I like having the lines there. And then I put all of my info that I usually put in my reviews at the top here. This was a 5-star. I put the author, of course, and then the genre, which is always important to me, the publishing date, which is not on the little notepad, and the publisher because I like to analyze what publishers I use the most. The format for me, this was a paperback, and the page count, and that's all the info I keep on there, and then I just go in with my review for the rest of it. That's why my laptop's out, because I like to type up my thoughts sometimes. Sometimes I write first and then type up my thoughts, but I had already had my thoughts typed up, so I'm just going in here and writing down most of that. I mean, I do change it up a little bit on here just because I'm doing it more from a journal perspective versus something a little bit more professional like my reviews on Goodreads and stuff is where I type it onto, versus here it's just like my free thoughts about the book. So it has some of it, but it also is a lot more free write of what I'm thinking about this book. I really want to work on my handwriting because when I am writing naturally, I don't really like my handwriting very much. I really think that like a lot of journalers on here and on Instagram and stuff, I get really jealous of how pretty their handwriting is. So that's something I definitely want to work on. But I really am loving how much space I have for my reviews, because I see a lot of other journalists who they do their reviews, they don't really have too much to say about it, so they make smaller spaces. But I feel like my brain is always crammed with so many thoughts, especially about books, and so it is nice to be able to have that space to just get it all out there and write it down. Anyways, we're gonna move on because that is the end of this review. I think it turned out pretty nice. I like the colors used here. I think I probably should have eaten and I could have come back with a fresh brain, but let's review the two in comparison. I do still like my journal better, as I expected, but I did feel like I learned a little. The infos have some different things that I might want to use. The thoughts, I mean, again, I need a lot more space. And the ratings, it's interesting that they split it up like that, but I don't like that they have that blank space because I didn't really have much to write there. I mean, all buddy reads for me are 5 stars, but I do think it's interesting to split up those ratings, and I might consider doing that in the future for things. But overall, I mean, the journal just works so much better for me. This notepad might work better for people who don't have a lot of time to journal and just enjoy doing that in a different way. But here is that finished look, and that's it. That's all I got for you. And that's really it for today's video. I'm sure I can go on a much bigger topic of comparing the two, but those were the big things that stood out to me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that bell icon if you want to get notified when I post. Let me know down in the comments which of these two you prefer, and until next time, happy reading!